Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how to handle stress. So typically stress has this kind of like negative meaning, right? So a lot of people say that they have too much stress in their life, and this is kind of like typically it just means something negative. So in this video I want to give you another perspective on stress and how you can actually leverage it to your own advantage, right? Because not all stress is negative. So what causes stress, right? So typically the stress. So initially, the psychologist Walter Cannon, who coined the fight or flight concept. So the primary function of stress is self-preservation, right? So this is typically the response to challenges or threats that gets us mentally or physically ready to tackle them. So stress affects your brain's chemistry in a way that can result in a better attention, right? So that's good, more cognitive ability, and even enhance your senses. So typically, if you think about it from this perspective, it can actually make you more efficient and more productive, right? But in other circumstances where there is no practical purpose to serve, or stress is just takes more than it needs to, it can have distracting or have negative consequences. So stressors, they can be external or internal. So for example, external changes, for example your work conditions, or for example even completely unfamiliar and new tasks that you have to do, or maybe events that are usually outside of your control, like deadline, bad weather, traffic, bills to pay. So all those things can cause stress. And internal stressors, they include thoughts or behavior. For example, how well you eat and sleep, feelings of anger and anxiety. So not all stress is bad, right? So for example, some people plan ahead in order to avoid like unnecessary pressure at all costs, right? So they would do things. Some people perform well under pressure. So if you, for example, myself, I perform when there is some kind of like deadline or something, I feel like perform better. Yeah, so this is kind of like there are two types of people that just perform differently when they have stress. And so it's just important to be self-aware how you personally perform under these conditions. So for me, it's like I might even like artificially create this kind of like environment for me where I have to get something done before a certain day, because otherwise I might not just even start with it. So the right amount of stress in certain situations can help you be more productive and get stuff done, right? So for example, simple version of it. So you move from a small village or from your city to a bigger city, right? Or you move from one country to another, like bigger country, more people, bigger city, a lot of different things are happening and you're not ready for it. So obviously you're stressing out. But on the other side, if you adapt to this environment, then over time, in like 5-10 years from now, it will be totally normal for you. And you'll be just like performing normal in this environment. So when you come back to your city, to your small city or village, then it just like everything will be so small and so like slow for you that you'll just performing, tremendously. So this is like, for example, a lot of the like immigrants, when they come to like United States, for example, you'll find that they perform like on a very like on a tremendous level, because they feel the pressure from they're new to the environment. There are a lot of things that they have to learn, a lot of things they have to adapt to. So they feel the pressure to perform. So a lot of billionaires, they're actually like immigrants in the first or second generation. So that just shows you the effectiveness of stress in those particular circumstances. So how to deal with stress, and I want to show you the 6 different strategies to try. So first, you need to prioritize what's important over what's urgent, right? So a lot of different things are happening on a daily basis. A lot of people sending you emails, a lot of people messaging you on Messenger, WhatsApp, all of these type of apps, and everyone wants your attention, right? And basically, the more popular you become, or for example, if your company grows and more people want your attention to get things done. And so you need to learn to prioritize what's important versus what's urgent. So there are few kind of like guidelines how you can do it. So first, you can categorize by importance. For example, does it contribute to your ability to meet your own personal to professional goals, right? So if it's not like totally needed, at the moment, then you might just ignore it, right? And urgency. So does it have to be completed soon? And are there negative consequences if you choose to ignore it? So these two criteria will vastly simplify your decision making in those situations. So oftentimes you would just like ignore most of the stuff and just focus on things that are important. So you can see on the screen the importance urgency matrix. So you can see important here. So important and urgent. So for example, holiday marketing campaign that you need to launch before the end of the week because that's where the holiday is, and so you need to get it done. Another example here, important but not urgent. For example, hiring a virtual assistant to take care your customer service tasks, right? So this is important but not urgent. So there is no deadline on this one. Not important and urgent. So meeting you have today that doesn't necessarily need to happen. So you might just cancel that meeting. So you might just like prioritize other things, like for example, this one in this case, right? And get it done, over this one, which doesn't necessarily have to happen. And also not urgent, not important. So random favors for someone you barely know. Someone asks you to, send them some details, or someone sends you to send them some, YouTube video, or someone asks them to send like email. Like this is not urgent and not important. You might just ignore it. And if you will have time in the future, then you might just come back to it. So like next time you have any situation where you are just overwhelmed with choices, overwhelmed with different things to do, all you need to do is just create this simple diagram, simple cross, and just put things in their respective coordinates. This will simplify decision making like instantly for you. And you can do this also in your mind once you have more practice. So that's the first thing. The second thing is say no more often, right? So why people are stressed as well is because they say yes to too many things. They have too many things happening at the same time, and not all of those things have actual positive impact. So you have to say no more often, and you have to say, again, you have to prioritize what's important to your personal business goals, what's important for your family, what's important for you in your life. You have to just prioritize those things first, and just all other things, just make them second priority. And so there is no point in always having a full plate that overflows. It can keep you from things that actually matter, right? So again, like the reason why people don't get the progress in their lives, in their careers, is because they have just too many things happening. And oftentimes, like 99% of those things, they don't need to be done, or they can be done by someone else. Like these are kind of like low value tasks that like virtual assistant or just assistant can do as well, or you can just hire someone for a few dollars and get it done. So basically with this matrix that I just showed you, you can just use this prioritization and just remove the things that are not important from your plate. So saying no can be hard, especially if you're the type of person who feels obligated to help other people out, but you have to take care of yourself first and make sure that everything is good in your side, in your business, in your life, before you can help others. Another thing is change the way you look at working out. So working out, a lot of people think about this as kind of like, like my doctor or my trainer says I have to work out, and I used to think the same. And if you think about from the perspective of your mind and well-being, like overall, so this is just like a little contribution that you have to do in your health, in your mind, to be more productive overall, right? So for example, you invest 1 hour into going to the gym and having like personal training session versus for example answering emails and trying to do like 100 different things. And so in the short term, that kind of like 1 hour that just spent in the gym, it doesn't make sense, right? Just like, for example, it's like a time waste. But in the long term, right, you feel better, you sleep better, you perform better, you're focused better, right? So a lot of positive consequences come out of it, right? And overall, your mind, your well-being is just much better. So making exercise a regular part of your lifestyle can change the way you react to stress. I always recommend hire a personal trainer, pay him up front. So you just committed to it, you have to do it, and then gradually just reposition this in your mind that as a way of, keeping your life more balanced, and also just making those like little contributions into your well-being and your mind and your overall productivity. The next thing is start something that's personally meaningful for you, right? So for example, it could be, like for example, if you just do one thing, like if you just spend 18 hours working, then you might just miss on other things. If you just commit to some relationship and you just spend all time with your partner, but you totally disregard your business or career, that also can be disastrous in the long term. So kind of like find something that excites you, something that gets you some new experiences. For example, like writing, running a blog, starting a side business, maybe attending a meetup, like learning some skills that you always wanted to. If you have the time for it, if you have the capacity for it, just do it, because this will make you happy. And if you're happier, then again, you can perform better and you can handle stress much better. So understanding the role of stress. So sometimes, stress can be, unproductive. It can just be, very destructive for you. But in other cases, it can be very productive, and you can deal with it and use it to your advantage. So if, for example, having deadlines, for tasks, for example, launching a new product or launching the advertising campaign, if that's helpful for you, then definitely do it. If not having those, like deadlines is more meaningful for you, then also do it too. Identify what's important for you, and keep those things in mind that we have just discussed, and you will be able to handle stress much more efficiently. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're looking for help with scaling your e-commerce business or Facebook ads, there's a link in the description. Click on it, apply for a free strategy call. We'll see if we can help you to scale your business to the next level. And not just business-wise, but also in terms of personal things. We are sharing something that are working for personal development, being more efficient, more productive, more focused. We're sharing those things with our students and clients. So please click on the link below, apply for a strategy session. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Like this video, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.